What if you could destroy procrastination in less than a minute? No hacks. No waiting for motivation. No endless productivity tips you'll forget tomorrow. Just one mental move, a 56-second trigger that rewires your brain to take action right now. You don't need more apps. You don't need more YouTube videos. You need a decision. A reset. A shift. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you exactly that. A simple, science-backed reset that snaps you out of delay and into momentum. If you've been stuck in the loop, thinking about what you should do, watching your goals slip day after day, this is for you. No shame, no hype, just a system that works. Let's cut the fluff. Let's break the loop. This is Self-Help Shift. Let's get one thing straight. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's not a lack of discipline. It's a response. A pattern your brain runs to protect you from discomfort, uncertainty, or fear. You're not lazy, you're looped. That mental freeze you feel? It's your identity and your actions out of sync. And that gap creates hesitation, avoidance, guilt, and another day wasted. Most people try to solve this with surface-level tactics, Pomodoro timers, motivational playlists, and to-do list apps, but they never stick. Why? Because they're treating the symptom, not the system. Today, I'm giving you the 56-second shift that cuts through the noise. A proven method that interrupts the comfort loop and gets you moving in under a minute. Here's what we'll break down. The hidden identity trigger behind the delay. The science-backed reframe to rewire your response. And a tool you can use today to unlock action, anytime, anywhere. If you're tired of waiting to feel ready, this is your turning point. Here's the truth. Procrastination is not a time problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's an identity problem. You say you want to work out. Publish the video. Launch the business. But deep down, your subconscious is still wired for one thing: safety, not growth. Not momentum. Comfort. So your brain resists. Not because you're weak, but because it hasn't been trained to see discomfort as safe, normal, or aligned with who you are. That resistance shows up as hesitation, then delay, then guilt. And now you're stuck in a loop you didn't even realize was running. Intention, resistance, guilt, delay, repeat. I call this the comfort loop. And every cycle doesn't just waste time. It reinforces an identity. I'm a procrastinator. I always put things off. I can't follow through. But none of that is true. It's just untrained. Unchallenged. Unshifted. That's why productivity hacks don't stick. They fight the behavior, but never fix the belief beneath it. You don't need another app. You need a clean break. A fast identity interrupt that stops the loop and gives you control again. That's where the 56-second shift comes in. So how do you actually interrupt the loop? Let me walk you through the exact 56-second method I use, and that thousands of others are now using, to break procrastination on command. It's built around 5 steps. And each one is designed to hit your brain's resistance point and override it in real time. Step 1, 12 seconds. Name the action identity. Say this out loud. I'm the kind of person who, I say. Example. I'm the kind of person who finishes what they start. This isn't motivational fluff. It's identity priming. You're giving your brain a new job title, one that aligns with action, not avoidance. Step 2, 10 seconds. Time block the task. Set a 2-minute timer. That's it. You're not committing to finish, just to begin. Why? Because the brain resists pressure, not action. And 2 minutes is small enough to slip past the resistance gate. Step 3, 15 seconds visual countdown. And count down from 5. Stand up. Clap. Shake out your arms. Move. This resets your physical state and disrupts the freeze response. Step 4, 10 seconds. Start with momentum. Open the document. Press record. Write the first sentence. Any forward motion counts. You just need liftoff. Step 5, 9 seconds. Reward activation. Say this. That's like me. As in, that's like me to take action even when I don't feel like it. Why this works? It rewires your self-image through proof. That's the full 56-second sequence. Fast. Repeatable. Zero fluff. And once you internalize it, procrastination starts to lose its grip, one shift at a time. This isn't motivation. It's identity alignment. Motivation fades. But identity? That sticks. And when your actions match who you believe you are, you don't need willpower. You just move. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. The shift method bypasses the fight or flight response, the same one your brain triggers when it senses a threat. In procrastination, the threat isn't physical. It's emotional. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. So your body freezes. Your brain stalls. And delay becomes your default. The 56-second shift interrupts that cycle and replaces it with what I call the shift trigger. Identity lock plus physical cue plus reward loop equals action momentum. It's backed by behavioral psychology and neuroscience. Small physical actions like standing, speaking, and starting change your brain chemistry. You shift dopamine away from passive consumption, scrolling distractions, and toward earned activation, which builds real confidence. And here's what most people miss. Procrastination isn't the problem. It's the symptom. A byproduct of identity dissonance, who you think you are versus who you say you want to be. If you try to push through without fixing that disconnect, you'll burn out. You'll spiral. You'll stay stuck. That's why this works. It doesn't just force a task, it transforms the self that shows up to it. Let me give you proof. We had a client who couldn't launch her blog for 6 months. She overthought every post, doubted every idea, and stayed frozen. Then she ran the shift method. 56 seconds. She hit record. Published her first post. And cried, not from pressure, but from freedom. That's what happens when you give yourself a system that matches your potential. And just like her, you're not broken. You've just been operating without a method that trains your identity to act. I've lived this too. There were entire weeks where I couldn't even open the document for my book. I'd sit at my desk, open the laptop, and freeze. The guilt would hit. Then the shame. Then the loop. I told myself I was lazy. Undisciplined. But none of that was true. I just didn't have a pattern I could trust to reset. Until one morning, I did something different. I ran the shift sequence. I'm the kind of person who finishes what they start. I set the 2-minute timer. Stood up. Counted down. Opened the file. Typed the first line. 1 minute in, my brain clicked. I didn't stop writing for 2 hours. It wasn't discipline. It was identity alignment. And here's the part most people miss. It's not about doing it once. It's about making it your default operating system. Here's how to lock it in daily. Run a 2-minute shift sprint every morning. Set a 2-minute timer. Declare your action identity. Do the one task you least feel like doing. That habit alone will rewire your relationship with effort. Want support? That's what the Shift Planner is built for. Every page starts with an identity affirmation. You set your shift trigger before the task. Then you log resistance, momentum, and daily wins, so your brain stacks proof of who you're becoming. This isn't about checking boxes. It's about training the person you want to become, on paper, in practice, and in motion. Still feel stuck? Still worried you'll fall off? That's normal. You're not trying to become perfect, you're building proof. Every time you run the shift method, even for 2 minutes, you're stacking evidence for a new self-image, one small win at a time. So if you miss a day, no guilt. No shame. You reset. You run the loop again. That's what growth looks like. Progress isn't about doing it every time. It's about not quitting the moment it gets uncomfortable. Because momentum isn't magic. It's identity in motion. If this hit you and you're ready to go deeper, here's your next move. Download the Shift Quick Guide to beat procrastination without hacks. Use the Shift Digital Journal to track identity shifts daily. Plug into the Shift Daily Planner to systemize your morning momentum. One download. 3 tools. 0 excuses. The link's in the description. Start today, not someday. Subscribe if this landed. Share it with someone who's stuck in their loop. And remember, you don't need more time. You don't need another hack. You need a trigger that matches who you're becoming. This is Self-Help Shift, and your momentum starts now. Let's get back to building momentum, one shift at a time.